Hello, this is presentation support for present perfect versus past simple. This is to give you some ideas of how to make the meaning of this differentiation more clear to your students. So check it out. How I look at it is that there are only four situations. Only four situations. And I don't want to associate present perfect or past simple to words so much as concepts that you can see in pictures. So we have four situations. We have right here, the first timeline. Here, the second timeline. Those are both past simple. Then we have present perfect. We have two timelines, right here and right here. So those are the four timelines. Now, let's start on this side. Past simple, obviously, it's a specific time in the past. I woke up early today. I woke up at 6 o'clock. This one right here might give you some pause. It shouldn't. Because a lot of times you'll see this in textbooks as past continuous. Now what happens if you teach this as past continuous for students? They think that any action in the past of any longer amount of time is past continuous. So if you ask the student, what did you do last weekend? They might say, I was sleeping a lot, I was playing with my friends, and they overuse it. How long did you sleep last night? I slept for 7 hours. I slept for 7 hours. That's past simple. Now, there's a different video on teaching past continuous, past simple. In this case, past simple is this. It's unhelpful to have that as past continuous, in my experience, definitely. So those are past simple, and we differentiate those timelines with present perfect. Here, we've got two situations. It happened before, and when isn't important. This covers present perfect for life experiences, present perfect with just, yet, and already. It covers everything right here. Now, right here, we have started before, still now, and in the future, maybe. In the future, maybe it will keep going on. This covers present perfect for unfinished time. It covers present perfect with for and since. And it covers present perfect continuous, which we're about to talk about. But when I teach students present perfect versus past simple, I like to associate the sentences they can see and they understand to the timelines. So rather than asking them for a logical explanation, they fill in the blanks, and if they're correct, I'll say, yes, correct. Or even if they're not correct, I'll ask the same question. Which timeline is it? I label the timelines. This is 1, 2. This is 3 and 4. I say, okay, which timeline is it? Which timeline is it? And it could be more than one timeline. So for example, if you say, for 10 years. For 10 years could be right here. I studied German for 10 years. It means I don't study German now. I have studied German, or I have been studying German for 10 years, right here. It means still now. The students need to be flexible with their understanding in this case, because it very much depends on the situation. When we use present perfect or past simple, the time phrase isn't always there. They have to have a flexible understanding of the situation, and these timelines make that possible. Then, present perfect simple versus present perfect continuous. This is one topic that I think is very much overcomplicated by a lot of people out there who write textbooks. So, this is how it really is. Present perfect simple, right here. You can only use present perfect simple in this case. I have been to Spain. I've already gone to the store. You can only use present perfect simple. But if this is the situation, in this timeline, you can use present perfect simple or present perfect continuous. For example, I have lived in this city since 2011. I have been living in this city since 2011. Maybe there's a little bit extra emphasis in I have been living, but the facts remain the same. It is started before, still now, and future maybe. And that's it. So this is present perfect simple or present perfect continuous, unless you want to differentiate. Unless you want to differentiate between these two situations, and it could be different. So for example, I've been working versus I've worked. I've been working, it has to be this situation. I've worked, it's probably with this one. So there are situations in which You can tell which timeline, which situation it is, based on whether you choose to use present perfect simple or present perfect continuous. Now, that differentiation, most of the time though, is going to be just nominal. It's just different words for the same situation a lot of the time. So those are tips on how you can teach present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, and differentiate those from past simple. I hope it makes your life a lot easier, and it should help your students understand better how much it depends on the situation. With any fill-in-the-blank activity, any sort of matching activity I use, I want them to connect the situation given to a timeline, to one of these 4 timelines. And that's teaching support for this topic that does cause problems for a lot of students.